Since the start of the DC Rebirth storyline, there's been one element that has been a mystery. That element is the button. A mysterious smiling face button with a blood mark on it that Batman and the Flash have found. There have been many mysteries popping up, such as who has been altering their timeline, who has been stealing their lives from them, and who removed Wally West. Some have been answered, some have just gotten even more confusing. But it's time for Batman and the Flash to figure it all out, to come to a conclusion, to solve the button. This is the complete story series here at Comicstorian. We basically take your favorite comic book storylines and we break them down into epic recaps. We add in music, voices, and sound effects to create a unique experience. I hope you enjoy and consider subscribing if you do. Our tale begins with a hockey game. The final minute of a match between the Gotham Blades and the Metropolis Mammoths. In an Arkham Asylum, a blonde-haired inmate starts to put something together in her mind. She cries out, panicking, "They're going to kill him!" She turns to her fellow inmates and she grabs her head. "Stop it! Stop it! I can't stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Can't you see? Superman won't come! Our friends will die! The Legion will die! No one will stop it! No one will save us!" And then we fade away from Saturn Girl. Deep in the Batcave, Batman stares at an enormous series of monitors, each with a view of the button, and he watches the hockey game. He twirls it between his fingers as he watches the puck hit the ground, and two of the players begin to fistfight. They have a history, the announcers say. This was in the making, the audience says. But neither man is giving up ground, and they hit each other so hard that one man hits the ground and everyone begs for him to stop. The fight is over. As they pull one man off of another, Batman turns off the television and he throws the button over to the table. The one where he's been keeping the Psycho Pirate's mask ever since he got it from the man himself. The two land next to each other, and there's a slight spark and a faint noise. Batman turns to see what's going on, and the button sends out a current of lightning that hits Batman in the chest, throwing him back. He looks up to see another Batman, a man from another time, a man from the Flashpoint event called Thomas Wayne. Thomas looks down at his son and he calls out, "Bruce?" And in response to that, Bruce reaches out, "Father?" And then Thomas Wayne fades from the vision of the Dark Knight. So he calls up a friend. "Flash, something's happened with the button. Can you come over here?" And Flash tells him that he's a bit caught up with about 37 samurais attacking him. So give him 1 minute and he'll be there. Then Batman hears the telltale crack of a speedster's lightning. "You said 1 minute, Flash. Of all people, I never expected you to be early." "Flash? No." And then the Reverse Flash punches Batman to the ground. Quite the reverse, actually. With 56 seconds until the Flash arrives, Reverse Flash begins to talk. "My name is Eobard Thawne, and I've been dead for quite some time. I should be dead for quite some more time." And then with 53 seconds left, he stomps over at the button on the ground. "But a power, it awoke me. It called out to me, for me, and I am resurrected." Batman leaps at him, but he vibrates, letting Batman hit the floor. "Oh, you want to fight some more?" At second 47, Reverse Flash cracks Batman with a right, and then a left, and then an uppercut. At 46 seconds remaining, he throws another left and then a right. And then at 45 seconds remaining, he hits Batman across the face. With 44 seconds remaining, he grabs him. "You're still alive? How fun!" He begins to run around the Batcave, throwing Batman into the trophies and devices that he has around, until he finally comes to the letter that his father gave him from Flashpoint, with 37 seconds remaining. He tears it up with Batman calling out, "No!" And then he throws it into the air like confetti. "Oh yes!" And now we have 29 seconds remaining until the Flash arrives. Reverse Flash begins to vibrate, making it so that Batman can't do anything to him. And Batman tells him, "There's one thing I know about speedsters. To blur, you have to be touching something on the ground." And he drives a batarang into Reverse Flash's foot, pinning him there. At 22 seconds remaining, Batman gets up for round two, punching with a right and then a left, and Reverse Flash sonic claps him into his monitors. "You have to know, you can't win!" Batman wipes the blood from his face. "Oh, I know, but I don't need to win. I just need 11 seconds. At the 10-second mark, Reverse Flash runs in, punching Batman over and over, and Batman even manages to get a shot in himself, so Reverse Flash pins him to the ground, pummeling him, and then he lifts him up. Batman looks him in the eyes. "One." And nothing happens. I guess overtime. Reverse Flash knocks Batman out and stands over him. Pathetic. He slowly walks over to the button and he picks it up, and he vanishes. He then returns moments later with a blue fire burning on him. "God!" He falls to his knees. "I saw God!" And he dies. That's when the Flash runs in apologizing for being late. He tried to save the hockey player who was beat, but he was too late. And then he looks down to see the dead Reverse Flash and an unconscious Batman. Flash gets Batman up to his bed where Alfred begins to take care of him and he begins to go over the crime scene. The Reverse Flash is there as a skeleton and he's trying to figure out what happened. Eventually he realizes there's only one witness, so he goes to talk to Batman and they decide to figure out what's going on. Batman tells him that Eobard said that he saw God. Flash tells Batman that he knows Thawne's vibrations, and there was something weird about them on his corpse. It's almost as if he traveled throughout space and time. How did he get back to the cave? Batman then explains that he put the button next to Psycho Pirate's mask and he saw something. A ghost of his father. They go over their notes. This all started the night that Wally West returned. Flash has also been seeing things such as Eobard Thawne and the Helmet of Mercury. The helmet apparently gave him hope. Batman asks Flash what he isn't telling him, and Flash tells him that he'll update him when he gets info. Within a short amount of time, Flash has made his way up to the Justice League Watchtower. It is here that they house all of the artifacts that they've come across. He thought back to the day that Wally returned from the Speed Force, and Wally told him that there was somebody watching them. He never saw who it was, but they're out there, and they're waiting to attack. Wally said that whoever this was more powerful than Darkseid. Flash runs over to a sheet, pulling it off, and there sits the Cosmic Treadmill, the tool that the Flash uses to travel through time, the thing that he swore that he would never use after he created the Flashpoint universe. But as he goes to get on it, Batman steps out of the shadows. "This is my case too, Barry." Flash tries to tell him no, but of course, that doesn't work as Batman and the Flash get on the treadmill together. And he begins to run faster than light! All around them is a blinding white light as they begin to run through the time stream. Flash notices that things aren't right immediately. Around them are different timelines, separate from the one that they live in. Different outfits, altered histories, even timelines where individuals have died. And behind them is a time storm, which is getting closer and closer, and the Flash knows what this means. They can't get caught up in it or they won't even know where they land. He has to run faster! But he isn't fast enough as he gets hit by the storm with a full KROOM! Batman and Flash go flying off of the treadmill with Batman holding onto it with a batarang and the Flash zipping around trying to get back on. But the white light of time begins to close around them. It begins to swallow them up. And then the treadmill hits the ground, breaking into pieces. They both get up looking around and Batman sees that this is his cave, but different. And the Flash realizes where they are. Batman sees the gun that killed his parents, and he sees a glass case. He lowers his cowl as he looks at it. How is it here? I never recovered it. And then Batman turns to see another Batman, his father. And Thomas Wayne turns to Bruce. I did this all because of you, son. Thomas continues. Everything I did because I wanted to save you. In the final fight, the Flash gave me hope for you and I put my faith into him that you would be saved and I would die. And the nightmare of the Flashpoint universe would end. But something put this world on life support. The nightmare didn't stop. The war continued, the fights, the floods, the deaths of millions. I was a fool to think that I could do anything to save my son. And now, my enemies come for me. Wonder Woman and Aquaman finally agreed on something, and they both have sent their soldiers to put me down. I decided to take them with me. But now here you are, and this isn't real! He grabs Flash by the throat, but the Flash vibrates out of it, telling him, Dr. Wayne, please listen to me. Something went wrong. It's been months since I repaired the timeline, since I left and changed it all back. But there's something that has kept this universe around and we are trying to follow its trail. How is it even possible? The Flash says, kneeling down to feel the vibrations. Flashpoint was never an alternate timeline, but an alternate history. It should no longer exist. It's being held in place like those visions that we saw on the time stream. I don't understand any of this, but I have to rebuild the Cosmic Treadmill. It should only take me a minute. And then Thomas Wayne looks at the stairs. We don't have a minute. Both Batmen drop their cowls and they jump into battle as the Flash rebuilds the treadmill, and as they complete the fight, the entire world begins to shake. It begins to fall apart. It's being let go of, finally. Bruce turns to his father. Your letter. It was the greatest gift that anyone's ever given to me. Bruce. After I read it, I knew I would never get a chance to respond. But if I did, there was one thing that I wanted to tell you above anything else. You're a grandfather. I have a son. Flash turns to them. Batman! The treadmill's at full power without me on it. We have to go, now! Bruce turns back to his father. Come with me, please. And Thomas turns back to him, throwing him onto the treadmill with the Flash. The universe around them begins to fade away into the time stream. Flash, you promised me that you would save my son, now do it! Thomas calls out. Bruce tries to fight against him. Barry, let me go! But Thomas looks at them as they begin to fade away into the time stream. You were my world, son. I delivered you myself, and the moment that I saw you, I know that every choice that I've ever made has been for the right reasons, because they led to you. You're the greatest gift that this life has ever given to me, and there is more that I should have shared with you in that letter. So listen to me. Don't be Batman. Find happiness. Please don't do this. Don't do it for me. Don't do it for your mother. Be a father in the way that I never could for you. Let the Batman die with me. Bruce calls out, we can save you! And then cracoom! They all vanish. Thomas stares at the dust cloud where they once were. You have. He throws the trigger to the bombs in the Batcave aside and he drops his cowl. And then he turns to the white light. Waynes never stay down. We rise! And he fades into oblivion. As Batman and Flash begin to run through the time stream again, Batman tries to convince Flash to turn around, but the Flash turns to him. There's nothing to return to. That world is gone. So Batman asks the next question. The button came to the cave. Why did it bring us to the Flashpoint universe? And behind them is the Reverse Flash running past them. Coming through, Flash! How on earth did you get ahead of me? Let alone find me! Batman and the Flash are shocked, but Batman sees Thawne holding the button and he tells Flash, he's holding the button. This is before he runs off and dies. So Flash calls out, stop! Stop or you'll die, Thawne! And Thawne shouts back, I know where this button comes from, Flash, and they've never faced someone like me! And he continues to barrel on into the time stream. Flash calls out, Thawne, I've seen your future. You're going to die if you keep going. My future, Barry? Like the day that you broke my neck? Or the day that you watched Batman's father slide a sword in my back? Empty threats to a living paradox. There is no future. There is no past. Then a big bolt of lightning hits between them. And as the Flash calls out to Thawne again, he feels another force. Barry, I'm here. Batman asks him, did you hear that? And Flash tells him, it's nothing. It's the time stream calling out to you. Thawne turns back to the two of them. I have an idea, Barry. Once I have this power, I'll go back and make you my son. I'll become a social worker and raise you. Make you my acolyte. And at that moment, the treadmill begins to fall apart and fall to pieces. Batman tells Flash, we need to land somewhere, Barry. And the Flash tells him, I have to catch Thawne. And Thawne gives the grin of the psychotic Reverse Flash. Like always, you're too late, Barry. I'm here. Your life is about to be undone. He arrives alone in open space with nothing but the ground and the person in front of him waiting. He looks down at the button, pulsing with power. Hello. You don't have to be shy now. I can feel your presence, like a wave of static electricity. It's powerful. I'll admit to the fact that I've never encountered anything quite like this. You've done such strange things to the timeline, things that I won't begin to question, and you've remained hidden from all of them. But I'm not like them. My existence is the only constant in a sea of possibilities. I cannot be erased by anyone. By you. Show yourself! Thawne looks up, and he sees the blue light, and it begins to swirl around him, and he realizes his mistake. My God, wait, I didn't know! The blue light touches him, and it begins to pull him apart at the seams. Please, I don't want to die! But before he can even finish his sentence, he's pulled apart and turned into the skeleton from the start of our story. Meanwhile, Batman and Flash hear the scream from Thawne, and they're tumbling through the time stream. But Flash hears another voice. Barry, I'm here. Flash and Batman begin to fall out of time and space itself. Flash grabs onto the treadmill for his life, and Batman is clinging on, hoping that the Flash has the answer. And both of them hear that voice again. Barry. Batman looks at him. Barry, listen to that voice. Grab onto it. Bruce, we don't know where it'll take us. We don't have a choice. The voice calls out again. Right here. Say my name. Say Jay. Flash is confused. Jay? And cracoom! A speedster's lightning flies through the time stream as Jay Garrick arrives on the scene. At last, I'm free! He leaps in front of both of our heroes, grabbing them, trying to run them through the time stream. He screams out as the time and space streams around him are trying to absorb him, Flash, and Batman. And when he finally gets his footing, he's off! Hang on! Power enough to get you! And then he throws them out of the time stream. Home! Cracoom! The echoes of a speedster's lightning ring throughout the Batcave as Batman and Flash have arrived. Flash turns to Jay and asks him, who are you? Did you kill Thawne? What do you want with us? Jay struggles because, like Wally, the Speed Force is pulling at him, trying to return him back to where it was hiding him. I didn't kill anyone, Barry. He stands with smoke and lightning flowing off of him. My name is Jay Garrick. I'm your friend, a Flash. Listen to me. I need you to remember. If you remember me like you did Wally. Barry thinks hard and a sad look begins to grow on his face. He told me I forget things. People. Someone did this. Do you know who it was? And then the time stream begins to reabsorb Jay. They took everything from me, Barry. I don't know how and I don't know why. Barry reaches his arm out. What is your name? What was it again? And then cracoom! A giant bolt of blue lightning reaches out and grabs Jay, removing him from the timeline again. Smoke swirls on the floor of the Batcave, and the Flash helps Batman up. The man said that he knew me, the same way that Wally did. But he's not here. Maybe he's from another timeline. Maybe I wasn't the lightning rod that he needed to stay grounded. The next day, Bruce and Barry stand in front of the grave of Thomas and Martha Wayne. Barry asks him. I wonder if all of this was Dawn's doing. Time rupturing, changing, people fading in and out of reality. Like your father in that other Flash. He died. But maybe his death is what triggered all of this. Maybe there's no one else to chase. I appreciate you trying to close the case, Barry, but it's far from closed. So what? Our primary suspect is God? For now, that's all we have. The two of them walk away from this. For now. And off in space, something with blue light is watching over the planet. But back in Wayne Manor, Bruce is looking out the window, thinking about what his father told him. Don't be Batman. Find happiness. The bat signal shines in the sky, and he remembers the next words. Let Batman die with me. Alfred walks over to see Bruce looking into the sky at the signal. Sir, aren't you going to answer that? Bruce looks, and then he hangs his head low. And out in a time and place unknown to us, the button is sitting on the ground as the blue light draws closer to it, and we see the blue hand of Dr. Manhattan reach down and pick it up. Why does my perception of time distress you? Everything is preordained, even my responses. We're all puppets, Laurie. I'm just a puppet. You can see the strings. And that concludes The Button. Batman and the Flash teaming up to try and figure out what it is. Now, we have had confirmation that it is officially Dr. Manhattan. We always thought it was, but it really wasn't 100% confirmed. But in an interview, Jeff Johns did state that that is in fact Dr. Manhattan. And the reason why Bruce did not answer the signal at the end of this story is because that is Dr. Manhattan's plan. To use the Flashpoint universe to put that seed of doubt in Batman's mind. Should he be Batman? The next big event that will continue the storyline of Rebirth and the Watchmen and how they're being introduced into DC is the Doomsday Clock, which has already been announced to be happening in November. So I guess we'll have to keep pulling at the threads and following the clues until then. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you want to stay up to date on what's happening with DC Rebirth, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on Twitter and Instagram where we can all say, oh my god, at the same time when these things happen.